Perfect. So what card are you holding on to?
Ace of spades.
Perfect. You can check one more time if you want, but that's the last time you're allowed to check.
Alright.
Alright, hold it. So you have the ace of spades, right?
Yeah.
We'll take the other black ace, the ace of clubs, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the move I'm gonna do, right?
Alright.
It's a quick move where I go like that and switch it, but I'm gonna do it in slow motion. So I'm gonna give you the ace of clubs, right? And I'm gonna take the ace of spades, right?
Yeah.
So you have clubs and I have spades.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time and you have to bet on whether or not they switch places, but don't look because we're gonna have a bet, okay?
Okay.
So I have the ace of spades ready. Watch. 3, 2, 1. And they switch places. If you were to bet, which card are you holding? The ace of spades? Which one's on the bottom, which one's on the top?
The club's on the bottom.
So you think I didn't switch it? There's
Yeah.
no way I just touched it, right?
Yeah.
There's no way I could have switched it.
There's no way you could have switched it.
So if you were to bet money, and we're not betting money right now, you would say clubs is on bottom, spades is on top.
Yeah, the club's on bottom, spades on top.
Alright, well, I give you permission to look now.
Oh my god! What the? It's 2 queens, how do you do that?
What's up guys, Chandler here with Rise Magic, and today we're going to learn the 2-card Monty. Now this was a trick popularized by David Blaine on his Street Magic specials back in the day. Now if you already know this trick, stick around because I'm going to teach you some awesome routines and subtleties to perform this trick even better. And real quick, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and like this video really quick because we will always be posting more magic tutorials, more cardistry tutorials, and things of that nature very regularly. So stick around and we will get into how to do the 2-card Monty. So all you need to do this trick is a standard deck of playing cards. By the way, these are the Gemini black and gold, and they are available on risemagic.com/store. So go ahead and check that out if you want to support the channel. But for the trick itself, all you're going to need is the 2 black aces. Now you could really use any aces or any cards for this trick, but if you're going to talk about it as a Monty, you're going to need the 2 black aces, right? Now besides those 2 black aces, you're going to want cards that contrast them the most. So you could use the 2 kings, the 2 jacks, but most people like to use the 2 queens when they do the switch. So you have the 2 queens and the 2 aces, and all you have to do is put these 2 queens in between the 2 aces, so your stack is ace, queen, queen, ace, ace of clubs, ace of queen of hearts, queen of diamonds, and ace of spades, and you're going to put it on top of the deck. And that is your setup to do the trick. You have that stack of 4 cards on top of the deck. When you talk to your spectator, you should say, this is an old-fashioned betting game from Las Vegas, or whatever pattern you want to use. But basically, tell it to them like this. It's a betting game, so you don't want to cheat. We want to pretend like you're betting money. So I'm going to give you 1 card, the ace of clubs. You're going to give it to them and ask them to hold on to it, just like that. Now, when a human being is holding on to it, you're going to want to have them hold on to it like this. So the spectator would be over there holding on to it like this, and you would ask them, hey, what card are you holding on to? And they would say, well, I'm holding on to the ace of clubs, because of course they are. You're like, perfect. So you have the ace of clubs. And you can ask them, you can be like, you can check it one more time. You are holding the ace of clubs. But once we turn it back over, this is the last time I want you to check it for the duration of this trick. So you give them back the ace of clubs. Sometimes they don't like it. So you just give them back the ace of clubs. Just like that. Okay, so they have the ace of clubs. Now, what you're gonna have to do now is a triple lift. Because if you remember, the cards are in a stack. So you have, in the top 3 cards, you have the 2 queens and the ace. So in order to show them the other black ace, you're gonna have to do a triple lift. There's many different ways you can do a triple lift, but you know, it might be a little unstable because it's a little more complicated than a double lift. Just because there's more cards you gotta keep still. So for this case, you could do a riffle up if you're more of a beginner. To get your break to do the triple lift, you could do a pinky count, but do the pinky count for 3 cards. So 1, 2, 3, and now you're ready to do a triple lift. All right, so your spectator is holding on to the queen of hearts. Go! So, like I said at the beginning, this is your stack. You have the ace of spades, the queen of diamonds, the queen of hearts, and the ace of clubs. Now, when you show the 1 ace to them, you're gonna have them hold on to it. So you ask them to hold on to it like that, and you're gonna look at it and confirm that that is in fact the ace of spades. Now, when they still have the ace of spades, this is when you get ready to do a triple lift, because you wanna show them the ace of clubs, not the 2 queens you have on top of it. You can do this by riffling up, Or you can do a pinky count like this, 1, 2, 3, and now you turn over 3 cards at once as a triple lift and show them the ace of clubs. From here, you turn it over, and you're gonna say, watch, I'm gonna do the switch slowly. I'm gonna switch these cards slowly. So you have spades and I have clubs. I'm gonna give you clubs and take spades. So now I do have ace of spades, and he thinks he has the ace of clubs, but if you turn it over, it's really already the queen, but he doesn't know that. Now here's where you do the second switch. Now you proposition the bet so that you have clubs, I have spades. Now you have to not look, and this is a key when you're doing this trick. People are gonna wanna turn over that card and look before the trick's over, so you have to make sure whether or not you're just holding their hand or just making sure that they know that they can't turn that card over yet. So they think they have clubs, you have spades. Now you're gonna do this switch even faster, and they have to bet on whether or not switch places. All you do here is just a little tap. You can show them that it's still the spades, and then you go bam. Now obviously I didn't switch the card there, I still have the spades and he still has the queen, but he doesn't know he has the queen. And it's at this moment, it's this kind of dash that's gonna make them think for a second, and then you look them in the eyes and say, now what card do you think you have? It's at this point where you have to do a top change while you're talking to them. This top change does not have to be quick, does not have to be smooth. You wanna make sure that when you're doing it, you tilt your wrist away from them so that they don't see what you're doing, but you're basically taking the spades after you do that flash move and switching it out for the other queen. Now this can be fast, this can be smooth, it can be however you want it to be, but if you're doing this trick correctly and talking to them right away when you go like that and say, oh my gosh, do you think they switched places? That's when, without them looking, you tilt your wrist away and just switch it out and place it back. And then say, if you were to bet, which one's clubs, which one's spades? Because see, the whole time, they didn't know those queens ever existed. And that whole time, just like that, when they go and look, you switched both of the black aces for the 2 red queens, or in this case, the orange queens. That makes sense to you guys?
Yeah. Lord, that was amazing.
Tips and tricks, just to make your performance of this trick even better. The key to this trick is that when you're giving someone a card and asking them to hold it and talking about how it's going to switch places and they're holding it like this, you might mess up this trick because instinctually, once you jam it all in there and do all that, they're just going to flip it over. And the trick's going to be spoiled before the big reveal. So you need to make sure that when you're talking to them, you make it clear that this is a betting game. So once the last time you look at that card before you do any of the switching, you say, do not look at what card you're holding, you will ruin the betting game. Do not ruin it. Now you obviously have to do this with a little more, suave, whatever. But another thing you can also do is lightly hold their hand down like you saw me do over there. You just lightly hold their hand to make sure that they're not gonna flip it over and ruin the trick. Now, this trick does require some sleight of hand. Like I showed you, you have to do a pinky count and you have to lift 3 cards and make them look like 1. That will take practice, but this is a trick that also follows the same logic of don't run when no one's chasing you. As in, no one knows that those queens even exist. You're just showing them the 2 black aces, so they won't even suspect you're lifting more than 1 card, because why would you be lying at that early stage in the trick? It is always good to have your sleight of hand be prime time, amazing, perfect. But this is the type of trick where you can get away with poor sleight of hand if you're just starting out. That's why with your triple lift, you can probably get away with doing like a riffle up, but I would highly suggest you work on your pinky count or strike the tiny double lift and transfer that over into a triple lift. Lastly, routining. This trick is kind of an oddball. It's got a nice trick ending, something that no one would ever see coming. Now this is how I like to do it. I like to first start off with card to mouth, a classic in card magic where you ask them to push the card in the deck and bam, it's in your mouth. That way you can phrase that trick as, okay, we're only gonna ask you to follow 1 card. Follow where this one goes, and you guys know card to mouth, I stick to my mouth. From following 1 card, you then go into the 2 card Monty, the trick you just learned. Now after you do the 2 card Monty, where you ask them to follow where 2 cards go, see, you do 1 card to mouth, you do 2 cards in the 2 card Monty, then you can go into a 3 card Monty routine. Now my favorite 3 card Monty to do is the ultimate 3 card Monty, and you can see that in our performance in Philadelphia Reacts to Street Magic.
See, the ace was already in my pocket.
Lastly, this was on David Blaine's Street Magic shows. He does it all the time. In fact, there's this famous clip of him doing it, I don't know if you guys have seen it, for George W. Bush. And what he does is after he does the 2 card Monty, he has him hold the 2 cards and say watch they switch back, and grips his wrists and does a watch steal.
Hold this one here, this one here. Hold tight, tight, tight. Say, hold, no, tight. Say a number from 1. Well, think of a number from 1 to 20.
Yeah, got it.
17? Here, I got a present for you.
Was it 17?
Right, it was
17?
Yeah, yeah. But I have a present for Mr. President. It's
Oh, God.
Now, I'm not good at that, so I don't feel comfortable teaching it, but I just want to throw it out there if you guys want to work on that yourself. Although, in this day and age, it's kind of hard to practice watch stealing because if you get caught, you can't be like, oh, well, it was for the trick. You just get caught looking like you're trying to steal someone's watch. So, you should probably tell someone before you do that in the group, like, I'm going to attempt. All right, you guys get the point. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that trick. If it's not already in your repertoire, you got to toss it in. It has a pretty cold-blooded ending, if you know what I mean. Besides that, be sure to stick around for more magic tutorials, card tutorials on this channel, and be sure to subscribe to our brand new podcast channel where we post our podcasts. So come hang out with me and Grant, hang out with the homies, and if you want to play with me in Fortnite, just add me at ChandlerMan31. Also, follow me on Twitter because I like it when you guys send me memes. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.